their mailing address. Employees and their families of regional radio are not eligible to participate or win any contest.
Paul Scourin here, CEO of Warner Hospital. Spring allergies acting up? At Warner Hospital and Health Services, we offer fast treatment to help you breathe easier and feel better fast. Quality care right here, right now. Click on our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning is Mr. Adam Ibbotson, Superintendent of Maroa-Forsyth Schools. Good to see you, Mr. Ibbotson. How you doing?
Great, Seth. Glad to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I got to ask you, I know you're a sports guy. Have we turned the corner where we're out of the... We're going to have rainouts, for sure.
We will, some.
Are we out of the cold out phase?
I'm pretty confident
of the spring.
I mean, the last Saturday when our girls were over at Springfield and they were playing softball, it was really cold, and we had, track was supposed to be happening. We had a high school meet scheduled for Tuesday, and it was so cold that day we rescheduled and found a meet at Okaw Valley. But I think that I'm hopeful. Last night it was beautiful at Forsyth at the park. We had a middle school track meet at Maroa with lots of kids. It was beautiful out. Hopeful for warmer weather. We'll have rain, it sounds like, but I'll take that. I'll take that over the thought of a snow flurries or other things coming down the road.
Always going to have rain.
Yeah, for sure.
We're in Illinois. It's inevitable. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great stuff. How about that new complex in Springfield? That is beautiful. It really is. I lost your for a second. Let's do that. What do you think of the Springfield?
Pretty incredible place.
Yeah.
I've driven by it, been around it. It's not totally done yet.
It's not okay.
Not totally, but there's a lot of events that are happening all the time.
Yeah, we had our guys over there, so they liked it a lot. So man, it's gonna be fun once it's ready to roll. But
sure.
At any rate, let's dive in, Mr. Ibbotson. The hot topic with you and the folks in Maroa lately has been thinking about transportation, streamlining things.
Sure.
Obviously, I don't know if the caveat or the cloud over this conversation is the cuts coming from the state of Illinois on this side of things. But just take us back, remind us what's going on here.
So essentially in terms of funding, we talked about how in school funding, there's different buckets of funds. So the state funds, the evidence-based funding formula, which is our main state resource that we have. And it's awesome. It's steady. The governor's fully funded it. I can't thank the legislator and the governor for supporting that. That provides a really dependable stream of funding. Then there are also pieces that are called mandated categoricals, things that we have to do by law that we have to do for students. One of those is transportation. We have to transport students to and from school. So what's happened in the last couple of budget cycles is the amount of money that we're supposed to get reimbursed for a mandatory piece when we drive kids in a school bus, that amount of money has gone down. It's been prorated to 60 to 70% of what we should get. So last year, Maroa-Forsyth lost $229,000 roughly of what we should have received in our transportation refund for logging all the miles. So kind of the timing of this is we've got a bus lease that's up next year. It's an opportunity to reevaluate how we can cut costs because I see forecasts and prognostications that number will continue to be prorated. The budget address this year was only partially of what it was supposed to be, another round of proration, but again, fully funding EBF. So we've engaged for a long time. Joke with my administrators Wednesday, whenever I made the final decision, we've been talking about this a while. We've gathered all the info and it's kind of time to move forward. So our proposals were to shift the start and stop times at the middle school, high school complex of Maroa and the grade school complex to try to stagger the bus times, to eliminate some buses that we have on the bus lease. And in order to make that happen, we have to have drivers drive double routes. And to make that happen, we have to have a 25-minute stagger between the pickup and the drop-off times at the two campuses.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So last time we talked, we were getting ready for a town hall that we put out on YouTube to parents. We put out an additional survey with a couple of options. Both options would meet the requirements of what I'm looking for to streamline to get the 25-minute gap, eliminate 4 buses off our bus lease going forward, and put that out to a vote. Took staff survey input, took from parents survey wise. Around 200 parents responded to the survey, which I was pretty happy about. About 75, 76 staff members participated in the survey, gathered the data for the last, week and a half, 2 weeks, answered questions, called parents, and made a decision on Wednesday.
And what's the decision?
So we're going to keep the grade school going second. So our middle school and high school is still going to be the first campus to go. They're going to start school instead of at 8:05 when first period starts. It's going to start at 7:55. So a 10-minute shift forward, which means they'll be done at 2:45 now instead of 2:55.
Okay.
Our grade school will start dropping kids off in buses at 8:15. Parent drop off with cars at 8:25. School day starts at 8:30. And then to make the stagger at the end of the day, we'll start dismissing at 3:20. That's when buses will roll out, and we'll start our car line a little bit before then. So looking at all the different factors, there wasn't a clear mandate to flip the schedule. Most of the comments and challenges that I got were from parents, and it was after school care. After school care is a big challenge. Not only just for waiting for older siblings, but even thinking about the cost of going to Kids and Fitness, the YMCA. Budgets are tight. Times are tough. And it was hard for me to reconcile with that issue, especially for our grade school students, to add another cost onto them.
Okay.
Most parents had said they had figured out if they were dropping their kid off at 8:15, now it's going to be 8:25. That's not a huge change for them, but flipping that schedule completely over, that was going to cause a burden for a lot of our parents. Not everyone, but it was going to cause enough of a burden. I asked parents to tell me how many what challenges they had to each option, and there were little to no challenges with the option that I took. There were a few, but a lot of challenges for childcare and after school care for families. And ultimately, since there wasn't a clear mandate of flipping, that's why I ended up keeping the schedule the way it is. We're still going to be able to do breakfast, I'm hopeful, at the grade school in the morning, even with their later start time. Still going to accomplish the 25-minute stagger. Still going to be able to accomplish all the financial goals. And I think hearing all the input, going through the process we did, I feel really good about the decision. And I sent those letters out yesterday to staff and to parents and the school board about where we ended up at.
Sure. I feel like this is a good example of, you want to do what's best for your community. And, you obviously have to do what's best for the school district, but you want to keep the community in mind and, weighing everybody's input that you got opinions on and making a decision that's best for everybody. So yeah, kudos to you for that, I guess.
I think that for me in the change process as an early career superintendent, the change in schools happened much slower. And in a situation like this, I think everyone has to be presented the facts, they have to be presented the information. You need to weigh it all in. And then ultimately you're trying to create a win-win situation for everyone to still accomplish the district goals, but still help parents out.
Adam Ibbotson is the superintendent of Maroa-Forsyth Schools, my guest in studio here for this morning. So does this continue to strain the transportation budget with cuts likely coming?
I think it could. I mean, in terms of where we're at now, the bus lease is happening. We're in year 2 of the 3-year bus lease. So next year will be status quo, but we have to start making decisions then about what the next bus lease would look like. I think another year of this is kind of where we're at. We'll streamline again, and that will help. But that's really setting the stage for reducing those 4 to 5 buses off the lease. That will help set the stage for saving some money just on an operations part. We are running a deficit in our transportation fund in our budget that we passed back in September. So we're doing that, still have positive fund balances, but this is a proactive thing in another couple years to start to see that rally, even though we may be underneath proration from the state of Illinois for that.
Couple of things, and we'll wrap up this discussion. Does this plan challenge your routes and ability to get kids to school on time and maybe a better way to put it, does this challenge the efficiency of your current routes and how you do things?
So we started this year implementing pool stops, which means that we're not stopping quite as often as a bus. So we're asking students to walk to a bus stop that's in, a neighborhood along the way, trying to get our buses in and out. We did that this year with 3 bus routes. but we had to provide some extra supervision and get creative with some dismissal schedules for buses. This will be way less disruptive for all of those people. To say that it's not challenging, Pat Fott, my transportation director, and thinking about Amy Flock, who's my assistant director, they help with all the routing, and they've been awesome providing me all the details about the two different options and how to make this work. We're confident based on this year kind of phasing some of this in to pull this off in the first place. It will be somewhat challenging. I don't think before school you'll see a whole lot of difference in the routes because the drop off and pickups will be very similar. After school, I think it will be a little bit getting those buses back to the grade school by 3:15. That will be some challenge to that, but we're confident we can make that happen, and we will make that happen.
Sure. Last thing, and we'll go to break here, Mr. Ibbotson. How about, you mentioned you're running at a deficit in the transportation budget, plus cuts coming.
Sure.
How do you make this work going forward financially?
So I think financially, looking at the budget for next year, we're looking at being more efficient, and we're trying to get to that spot where we're not spending down as much of that balance as we necessarily need to still keep that as a positive surplus there. We're in a solid financial position to withstand some more of those cuts, but I think these operational baby steps will prevent anything would have to be drastic down the road.
Sure. So does that mean cuts to other parts of the budget, or
No.
just continue to pull from reserves?
So I think what we'll do is I think we won't have to pull from any real reserves and other funds. The transportation fund is still with a healthy balance, even though our revenue versus expenditures will be a deficit this year. There's still enough money in that in terms of the funding streams of what was there built up for reserves in the first place.
Is that, I apologize, I'm kind of getting in the weeds with you on this one, but is that a byproduct of the state overpaying? Is that a byproduct of just Maroa-Forsyth budgeting really conservatively?
Budgeting conservatively is part of it.
Okay.
Part of it is that we were fully funded for transportation for multiple years until the last two, really. So we were getting that full amount. So fund balances were there. We're being very conservative in terms of the budgeting, watching what our expenditures are and what we were doing to try to control that. So that built up a decent fund balance. That's allowed us to continue not to have to do any fund transfers or dip into any reserves.
I know, not to bring all of the conversation we had off the air into this conversation, but we were talking about the significance of the transportation cuts that are funding. If you're doing well, why are you so concerned about cuts that are coming?
It's really long term. So if we spend down in that deficit for the long term, if this continues on, this is not really a solution that is a quick fix Band-Aid for 1 year. This is looking out 3 to 5, even longer, because if we sign another bus lease and that goes for another 3 years and it's 100,000 plus for a bus, that's going to be more money that I'm going to be able to save. And the only way to save the number of buses we have is to make sure we're more efficient and don't have to have as many buses.
Do you think the cuts coming from the state are a permanent thing?
I'd like to think no, because it's kind of ebbed and flowed over the time period. There have been times when we've had proration in those categoricals, other times where they've been fully funded. But I think for us as a district and as a district leader and being cognizant of taxpayer dollars, I think if we're not looking for ways to save money for the long term and looking at 3 to 5 years down the road, I think it's short-sighted. And then all of a sudden you're in an issue where like, oh my gosh, we have to do something. Well, at this point, we can kind of baby step this in, set up a foundation for the financial future of really transportation and those operating funds in the district. The education fund pays all of our teachers, benefits, salaries, operations and maintenance in Fund 20, and then Fund 40 for transportation.
Sure. Gotcha. Very good. That all makes sense now. Anything I didn't touch on or you want to clear up about that issue?
I just think my administrators, we talked about Wednesday, I think they're glad the decision's been made. We can move forward with stuff and we can start turning the page and get all the specific details worked out for next school year.
Very good. Mr. Adam Ibbotson is the superintendent of Maroa-Forsyth Schools. My guest in studio today. More to come with Mr. Ibbotson on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
For more information.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Two-sided trade. Corn down to nickel, 439. July corn down 5 3/4, 449 1/4. December new crop 470 down 4 1/4. May beans up 8 3/4, 1174. July beans up 8 1/4, 1189 1/4. New crop November 1157 up 4 1/2. May Chicago wheat 570 down 4 1/2. May KC wheat 587 1/2 down 3. Baby meal is up $11.90, $329.50. Baby oil down 63 cents, 67.07. Livestock trade, April feeders 374.12, up $1.60. April live cattle up 42 cents, 250.20. April lean hogs 90.72, up a nickel. Energy market, June Brent crude oil down a dime, 95.82. And you're listening to the RFD Radio Network.
Finding the right employees can be a real challenge these days, whether you're hiring full-time or part-time. That's where the regional radio stations come in. We're here to help you connect with the qualified candidates you need. Check out IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. It's part of our comprehensive radio and internet employment campaign designed to get your job openings noticed. For details, just reach out to your account manager. Put the power of radio and the internet to work for you at IllinoisJobPost.com. Looking for a provider who puts your health first? SIU Family Medicine is accepting new patients. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your first appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest in studio today, Mr. Adam Ibbotson, Superintendent of Maroa-Forsyth Schools. Mr. Ibbotson, I know you have been doing some recognitions of teachers, staff, administrators.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
I just, it's this time of year as we get to staff recognitions in different groups, and I'll probably highlight some more of this in May as we go, but I wanted to highlight specifically our paraprofessionals. Some people would think about it as a teacher aide type of a role. We can't function in our school district without that support staff, and that group of people do a lot of really great work for our kids, supporting our families at our grade school, middle school, and high school. We recognized them right before break that we had. The actual day was April the 1st. I just wanted to publicly acknowledge all the work that they do, how essential and vital they are to the school. They're a part of the team, and they serve a huge role, whether it be helping instructionally, helping with care, you name it. Our aides and paraprofessionals do a great job, and I wanted to give them a shout out today as a part of the radio interview. Assistant principal day was yesterday. We kind of have quasi assistant principals. Mr. Appleby is the athletic director, but he's also an assistant principal split. Lori McCoy is our assistant principal at the grade school, but she's also our special ed administrator for the whole district. So they kind of serve multiple roles, but they're a big part of our team. Our 5 administrators, both of them kind of serve in those assistant principal roles. Again, couldn't function without them. They're great members of the team. I appreciate them. Librarian wise, couple of library aides that we have to help us. Vicki Bruce, Nancy Campbell help us out at the grade school and the middle school. So thankful for them to celebrate them at this time period. It just takes a village to make it happen. Doesn't matter whether you are working as the superintendent or you're working as a teacher or you're working as a bookkeeper or a parapro, bus driver, cafeteria. It takes the village to make it work and to serve our kids. So I'm thankful for them.
Is there a superintendent's day that you know of?
I don't really know if there's a superintendent's day. There's probably I don't know, boss's day along the way.
Oh yeah,
but,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. But I am very fortunate to serve the people in our school district and our community, to work hard for them, to try to do best that I can for our kids and our families. So I'm appreciative.
How is staffing right now?
We, at this point, have 1 vacancy. So we're in a really good spot right now in terms of staffing.
Include bus drivers?
Right now, I would take bus drivers. But I think right now, with where we're at, we don't have to actively seek other spots.
Good for you.
We've got a couple of subs that we're working through and some other routes here. But right now, we'll always take applications because we always could need them with the shortage. But right now, I think we're okay.
Wow. 1 vacancy, though, in the staff.
Yeah, right
That's
now.
Crazy.
Now, this is the time of year where you see a lot of movement along the way if that happens. But right now, we've got 1. And, our staff does a great job, and wanted to shout out that group today.
Very good. Very good. What else is going on in the district?
Pre-K screenings happening yesterday and today. So if you missed the screenings or you need to contact our office at the grade school, they'll set you up with that. We've got about 70 students that are in our Preschool for All program at the grade school. early education, early intervention, that's the most bang for your buck. Strong supporters of our early childhood programming that we have in our preschool, gets them used to the district, gets them used to the building. We can early intervene and help them get set on a strong academic pathway. So those screenings are happening. We had kindergarten screenings earlier in March, had 65-ish in terms of the screenings there to kind of get an idea about kindergarten staffing for next year. So excited about them moving forward. So yeah, just kind of making plans for next year, ready to go.
Very good. Well, on the way, any summer projects coming up we're looking forward to?
As I've shared, we're replacing our press box.
You
out
are?
at the football field. We're
Okay.
officially doing that. That's going to happen at the end of May, into June. So that'll be kind of the a big outdoor project we're doing.
What are you doing with that, if you don't mind me asking?
It's going to be essentially, think about like a prefabbed box. They'll essentially build it off site. It will be a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, more modern amenities along the way.
Like kitchen, refrigerators,
maybe Airbnb like field. No, it'll essentially have space for just running a modern day high school football. Like you think about like the video boards, you think about the sound and audio, you think about students that are filming games, you think about huddle, you think about all those things that have to happen. Give us some more space, media along the way. Trying to help out with some of the staging of all those things.
Multiple levels?
Nope, one level.
Oh, come on, man.
Nope, only one level. You still get on the roof.
Okay.
Still get on the roof.
All right.
But yeah.
What's is there like a comp to another press box in the area that
we looked at St. T's, we looked at Clinton's, we looked at Springfield Southeast had a new press box. Springfield 186. Our architect for the district's BLDD, so they submitted some designs for us, and it'll essentially be a prefabbed box that'll essentially come on in, and they'll take off the old one, do some different footings,
keeping the bleachers and everything. Okay. Not redoing that.
They'll have to adjust some of the bleacher work to accommodate how the length of it and the doors. But for the most part, it will essentially be unchanged.
Gosh, you need like a full kitchen, banquet room.
Well, we did the concession stand last summer. And then this year we're doing the press box, and that will help kind of cap that area off.
Cool. Very good. Anything else going on this summer, or anything else you want to mention, Mr. Ibbotson?
High School Musical coming up on the 17th and 18th and 19th is that next weekend. White Christmas is coming up then. We've got prom happening on the 25th.
They're doing White Christmas for their spring musical.
Yeah,
That's
they are.
Awesome.
Yeah, White Christmas for the spring musical. We've got graduation for the middle school is going to be on the 21st on a Thursday. And then our high school graduation is set for the 22nd of May. And the last day for student attendance is a half day on May the 22nd. So we are wrapping up the year.
Can't believe it. I can't believe it, man. It's years flown by.
For sure.
Really has. How do folks follow along all things Maroa-Forsyth Schools?
mfschools.net. If you haven't been on our website for a while, I would encourage people to get on there. We've been doing a lot of work as a part of our strategic planning goal with communication and trying to streamline things there. Check that out and get on the website.
Very good. Mr. Adam Ibbotson, Superintendent Maroa-Forsyth Schools. Network News is now.
The Big 1520, WHOW.